Hi everybody, it's Fiona May from Women on Transition, and today we've got a wonderful next part of our series called "You Are Just One Call Away from Having More in Your Life." And this is super exciting because it's really, we're the ones who hold ourselves back very often in our lives, and we might not even recognize that, but it's amazing how we can, open ourselves up to new possibilities and new opportunities when we're actually focused on that, creating that stream for ourselves. And this is relevant in every single area of our lives. So it could be in your relationships, it could be in your career, it could be with your finances, or it just could be in your ability to love yourself and to be at peace with yourself. So let's jump in and have a look at what we're going to be covering today. So you are one call away from having more in your life. I totally believe that. When I went through my separation and divorce, I wondered if I was ever going to be happy again. I really, at one stage, thought, my God, I'm 46 years old, never expected this, and how do I move forward? And at first I didn't know how to move forward. I was really stuck. I hadn't prepared for it. I was successful in other areas of my life, and yet, I had never thought about divorce, and I had no idea how to navigate these waters. So it was something that I had to go back to the drawing board. And what I knew was that I needed to grow, and I needed to learn, and I needed to find new tools and skills to be able to get me to that next place in my life that I needed to be. Now, you might wonder, how did she know this? But the reality is that ever since I was, 21, I started my first business, and that gave me a really good basis. I started from scratch, from nothing. And I knew that for me to get better than what I had, for me to have more than what I've got, I need to grow beyond what I already know. And this is 100% relative in our lives when we're going through any challenge. But, separation and divorce I personally believe it's one of the hardest things that you're probably ever going to have to go through in your life. And I think that if you can navigate this territory and come out healthy, smiling, healed, compassionate, loving, living your best life, and as a great role model for your kids, and your kids also thriving after your divorce, I think, that is just wonderful. And that's certainly what I want to encourage for all women out there. I hate to see women suffer. So I truly believe we can have more than what we've got, and I don't want you to settle for what you've got. Okay, one of the first things we need to do is achieve financial freedom. Without having our finances in order, without having that certain level of security, it's really hard for us to excel in other areas of our life. So our first bottom need on the hierarchy is our safety and our security. So, when we're really stressed about finances, and we see this a lot, even with women who have money, there's a lot of uncertainty when you're going through separation or divorce, and you're wondering all the time how you're going to get through, and what that's going to mean to you, and how it's going to impact you, what your future's going to look like. So it's really good to get the bases settled down, and that's what we help a lot of ladies with, is to be able to have a good thought process, and to be able to navigate through their separation, get their settlement statements done, either find a lawyer or self-represent, and we encourage them to, there's lots of, we call this a crazy zone, from separation to financial settlement. There's a lot of stuff that goes down in this period, and people behave in very unusual ways. And when emotion goes up, intellect goes down, and so we see a lot of turmoil through these times in our life. So we need to gain control. We need to be able to regulate our minds, regulate our emotions, because our thoughts turn into our feelings turn into our actions, and our actions turn into our results. So if we're not getting good results, we need to stop and think about how we're processing, how we're thinking about things. So gain control. It's all about managing your finances with a clear vision for the future. And mastering budgeting, saving, investing, and debt management is the key. So for a lot of ladies, especially midlife ladies, they might have left the finances to their husbands, or they might have just, let things. They might be good spenders. They might not have had to look at their money situation. And for a lot of ladies, you're going to find yourself in a situation that you need to be more consciously aware of your spending and your saving and your debt and your liabilities, all of those things now that you might not have had to take so much notice of in the past. So there's some, fairly basic accounting things that we can do here to make sure that we're living within our means. Make sure that we are spending more than we can actually afford. Look at what you need to do to be able to survive. For some ladies, that might mean cutting off some unnecessary expenditure. Other ladies, it might be renting out a room in your house, or downsizing, or consolidating debt. All of those things. We don't want to be an ostrich, ladies. We don't want to put our head in the sand and just pretend and hope and wish and pray that our life's going to, get better and these things are going to get handled. Because when you go from a partnership or a marriage and you're on your own, suddenly there seems to be a hell of a lot more tasks that you need to do. But getting your security in place is one of the most important things you can do. And the thing is, when you start tackling all these little things, they start to fall into place. You get one done, it's done. Then you move on to the next thing and the next thing. But you want to just make sure you've got financial security. For a lot of ladies that we work with, and this I really love, that I often stretch them outside of their comfort zone. And often they would, I'll find out what it is that you want to do, what do you want to have, what are our limitations. And sometimes it's that they're just not earning enough money. And when you were in a marriage, you had two people contributing often, and things were easier. When you're on your own, you have to have a look at your budgeting. You have to look at what your expenditure is. And for a lot of ladies, they're just not earning enough money. And what we help them do when they work with us is to actually get higher paying jobs. That can come in a number of different ways, but we've got a whole, a huge amount of resources and tools and skills that Sandra and I bring to the conversation. And we have so many of our ladies end up getting either pay rises or starting a side business or expanding their current business and being able to earn not just 5,000-10,000, but 20, 30, 40, 100,000 more. And this is the game changer. I had one lady who was earning about $70,000 in the job that she was in, and she wanted a house. And I just said, you're never going to get a house on $70,000. It's just not going to happen. She said, so what do I need to do? I said, you need to get a higher paying job. So I helped her with a resume. We helped her decide, get her confidence up, to heal and to be ready to at that place that she believed in herself. And she went and she got a new job, and she's on around 130,000 now. And she's been there for about 3 years, and she has bought her own home. And, it's amazing, but it happens. It's real. And it's not just one lady who can do this. Anybody can do this. It's just, you've got to be committed. You've got to have the resources, and you've got to, want to take action and improve your life. Breaking free, living free of financial worries, having the resources for your needs and wants, and making wise financial decisions. All of those things make you feel powerful. If you don't have those things in place, you're not going to feel powerful. You're not going to feel like you're in control of your life. So we've got to unlock our true potential, because like I said before, most women are your biggest limitation. You get in your own way. You forget about how amazing you are, and you're not used to recognizing the skills and the talents that you've got, and you forget about what things you've done in the past where you've been successful, and the skills and the tools that you developed in that time can be replicated and used again in another field. So we've got to become self-aware. We've got to know ourselves. We've got to know what our triggers are. We've got to know what our strengths are, and we've got to know what our weaknesses are. And we've got to own those weaknesses because, we want to be proud of the people that we are. So we need to love ourselves whole and complete, exactly as we are, with our greatness and with our shit bits. And we call them shit bits because they're parts of us, parts of our soul, parts of our personality that we know that we've still got to work on. But they're part of us. We're not going to throw them away. We're not going to pretend that's not who we are. So you might be lazy, or you might be a procrastinator, or you might be a people pleaser, or you might be, never focusing, not being able to focus on what you actually want, getting always having shiny object syndrome, only doing things a little bit and not staying committed and not end up selling out on yourself. You've got to know whatever it is that you do, what is sabotaging your success, and then we've got to deal with those things. These are patterns. They've been in your life for a long time. Often they're caused by, either traumas or belief systems when you're a little girl, the rules, the values, and the beliefs that you had as a little girl have been instilled in you over a long period of time. And now we've got you as a, grown-ass woman, but she also is carrying these negative limitations from the past. And we've got to break those patterns because the patterns that aren't serving you now, they're not going to serve you down the track. So rather than just bullying our way through hoping that life gets better, we can go the other way. And this is the way that I love to go. It's like drawing that line in the sand and saying, enough's enough. I'm not going to do that anymore. I know that I've been a good wife and a good mum and I've tried really hard, but I need to upskill if I want a better life than what I've got. And I think this is your absolute birthright. So personal growth 100% is the way to do it. You need to grow your personality. You need to be able to develop how you think, how you process, what your beliefs are, what your rules are, and for you to upskill and raise your own standard of what you've been accepting from yourself. Because I know you. I know that you are smart and capable and got so much ability, but you're not even recognizing it. And if you don't believe in yourself, no one else is going to believe in you. So the work that we do has to start at the very core level, and it's all about developing our personality. So embracing continuous learning, educating ourselves, and developing everything that we do. We want to be constantly improving our systems, our structures, and moving ourselves towards our goals. So first you've got to get clarity in your mind of what you want. Everything is first created in our mind. So we've got to be able to see it, feel it, believe it. And then when we actually live from that place, like we've already got it, make decisions like a successful person would, well then before you know it, your life's going to change. You actually get to achieve the things that you never thought were once going to be possible. We want to be fulfilled as well in our lives. We don't want to just get on that circus merry-go-round and work ourselves to death, or watch Netflix all the time, or soothe in different ways. Some people have too much wine, some people smoke, some people, exercise too much. Whatever you do in excess, and if you're doing it so you're not having to do something else, then it's a soother. And we want to have a look at what the soothers are in our life, so then we can see, is that actually taking me away from my goals, or is it moving me towards my goals? And we need to start being consciously aware of our actions and our, behaviors. So we need to build meaningful relationships, ladies. We want to have nurturing connections where we're investing in meaningful relationships with our family, our friends, and like-minded women. Not everyone understands divorce. Very few people actually do unless they've been through it. So our friends and our family, they can get sick of, hearing about it. They can actually think that they're helping you and pushing you to move on and deal with it and just get over it. But what we've learned after working with thousands of ladies over the last 8 years is that women need to process. We need to understand, and we need to actually go through the gamut of emotions and feel it and understand so we can put it to bed. We can't just turn off and compartmentalize like a lot of men do. We actually need to go through the transitional journey. So we need to create bonds by building a support system that provides encouragement, accountability, and shared experiences. Now, this is what we do, like in our 3-day events and in our programs and in our courses. We always want the girls to have a community, and we don't want a community of negative Nancy's or people that limit them or hold them back from being successful or compete against them, because they're 4 things that ladies are really good at. We don't want that for you. We want you to have be surrounded in positive, inspired people who are actually living the life that they love, what they want, what they've set out to achieve, because we want those people to be your role models, and we want you to be able to know that if you do this in this order, that you're going to get the same results. And we see this all the time. There's no accident that the women who are succeeding after divorce, they're all doing the same thing. And, it comes back to following a proven step-by-step system is going to get you replicatable results. So the third thing is you've got to create harmony in your life. There is no point having success, having money, having, fame. None of that's important at the end of the day. What you need to be able to do is to be at peace, to be happy, to be loving, to be compassionate, and to just be still and not have your mind overthinking, overreacting. We want to actually be at a place in our life that we enjoy life. I truly believe this is a wonderful time of our lives as midlife women, that we can get to enjoy this period between our kids leaving home, our parents getting too old. There's a beautiful sweet spot in there that we need to carve out some beautiful time for ourselves. And I think for most ladies, this gives you the new opportunity as a, single, separated or divorced woman to actually put some of that time and energy and focus that you used to spend on everybody else and making sure everyone else was looked after. I want you to start spending some time on prioritizing yourself, putting yourself first, making your happiness a number one priority in your life, because you deserve it. You should not be playing second fiddle to everybody else. So we want to discover your purpose, because, when we have a purpose in our life, it's the thing that we want to get out of bed for in the morning. We want to be able to have self-reflection, what means identifying our passions, our values, and what brings us joy, because we want to have a happy life. What's life without actually enjoying it? We've only got one life. This is not a dress rehearsal. You don't get to come back and do it again. You get to live this life. And so I want you to be able to live this life on your own terms and enjoy every single day. So you need to have some exploration in your life. That means some adventure. That means getting outside your comfort zone. We always say, all the fun happens outside our comfort zone. We love to have that uncertainty and variety in our lives. Even if you love routine and you love certainty, having that uncertainty is what gives you, the yin and the yang. It gives you that excitement. And so we want to build our life around having some exploration in there, doing things that you've never done before. Don't be boring. This is not the time in your life to be boring. You want to start hanging around people that excite you and do fun things and have some amazing adventures in store for you. We want to also be aligned. Like, I'm really big on this. I am very, I don't know, I call it raw, real, natural. I'm just me. And I swear sometimes. I'm overweight. I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But I show up as me all the time. As I try and be my best self all the time. When I make mistakes, I say I'm sorry. When I stuff up, I try to make amends. I just want to be authentic and real. And I believe if I can do this and show you what that looks like, then it gives you courage to show up as your best self and for you to be real. I don't really like where, people get so caught up in having to be somebody else instead of just being themselves. And I think there's so much grace comes and, love and self-care when we actually can check in with ourselves, and regardless of what we are, who we are, what we've got, just say to ourselves, I love you. You are a beautiful person. You are doing a great job. I'm super proud of you. Give yourself a bit of a wink. This when you like that, you're easy to be around. And when you're easy to be around, you're easy to love. So this is something that we always teach the ladies that we're working with, is we want you to be able to take your walls down and be happy with yourself, because when you love yourself and you're happy with yourself, you drop your judgment and you're easier on other people. And when you are judging yourself hardly, you'll judge other people. When you're easy on yourself and you're kind to yourself, you'll be kind to other people. So it is really huge that we actually make these fundamental shifts in the way that we've been actually living our lives. And anybody can do this. So being aligned, with your purpose and what you really want out of life, having that clarity is going to put you in a positive head state. So we've got to overcome our limiting beliefs. And, if you want more in your life, you've got to challenge your thoughts, because your thoughts are what will be holding you back. We work with our girls. We run one of our programs is called Money Mindset Mastery. And we can tell you that if you don't have enough money in your life, it's not because you don't have the resources to get more money. It's that you're often not resourceful. And the reason you're not resourceful is because you have blocks in your mind about what you are actually entitled to have or what you can have. So we've got to deal with the mind before we see the physical evidence change of our situation. So we need to embrace growth. Like, growth is what is going to move us from A to B. We've got to accept challenges as opportunities for learning and personal development. I personally don't think that there's any failures in life. Every time you stuff up, it's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity for you to do better next time. And if we have no failures in our life, we don't even know what it feels like to have success. So third thing is embracing change. Don't be fearful of change. Don't be scared of what could happen. Look forward to what could open up for you, what new possibilities and opportunities are going to come up. Stepping outside your comfort zone and embracing new perspectives is what's going to give you a whole new outlook on life. We've got to create a positive mindset. You probably heard people talk about positive affirmations and turning things around and looking for the good in things instead of the bad. All of those things are absolutely really real. But what sabotages it is that little voice in our head behind what we're thinking and saying. It's actually inside of us. It's the next level down. And he's always there, or she's always there. That little girl could even sound like your mum. It could sound like an old teacher. It could sound like your ex. But there's somebody who will be in your head who will be telling you negative things. You've got to learn to say, thanks for sharing. Now you can run away because I don't need you, because I am a big grown-ass woman. I can make my own decisions. I know that I have the clarity and the ability to run my life on my own terms, and I can trust myself because I've done my own work. When you get to that place, you feel really powerful. So to have a positive mindset, we need to focus on gratitude and celebrate our small victories. When we focus on gratitude, we become grateful for everything that we've got in our life, and we give up the expectations. We stop expecting people to behave in a certain way or to give us things or to be available or do things for us. And so if we give away our expectations and we just stay with our gratitude, we're grateful for whatever we get. Makes you much more lovable and nice to be around. The next one is practice mindfulness and cultivate self-compassion. We need to be compassionate with ourselves. We need to be kind to ourselves. Very often we're really hard on ourselves and we don't treat ourselves with the same kindness as what we would treat other people. And when you think about that, if you wouldn't say something to another person that you say to yourself, well, you've just got to cut it out. You've got to stop it. But it's not as easy as that. I know that. We've got to reprogram you. We've got to get all that negative shit out, and we've got to know where it came from in the first place, and then we get rid of it. But we can't just get rid of it because it creates a void. We've actually got to fill it with new intentions and new statements and new beliefs. And then we live from that place of believing that's who we are. And then those things start to come true. It's a manifestation. But you can't manifest if you don't take action. Action is the thing that you need to add in there. So you need to be, know where you're going to, and every day you need to be moving in the direction of your goals. The third thing is to surround yourself with positive influence. I can't state this enough. You need to have people around you who are already moving in the direction of where you want to go. People surround themselves with a peer group who are about the same. They don't usually have very many peers who are much higher or much lower. They think they're better than the ones who are lower, and they don't want to know about the ones who they see as higher because they like to discredit them. But what we need to do, if we want to grow, is we want to start lifting our own standard of what we've been accepting of ourselves and accepting from other people. And when you get on a growth curve, and when you get into a crowd of people who are moving in the direction of where you want to go, you get pulled along into that environment. So I always, when I'm in a mastermind or when I'm learning something, I love to be the dumbest person in the room, because I know by hanging around with people who are smarter than me or have worked out whatever it is that I want to do, then I'm organically going to be learning. And before you know it, then I'll be the smartest person in the room. And then I leave that environment and go to the next environment. And, that's how I've sort of done my life. And I love being around people who are action takers and are getting great results. And I'd encourage you to do the same. So we've got to develop a success-orientated strategy, because like I said before, nothing happens by accident. We are where we are in our lives because of the decisions that we've made. And it's very easy to give our power away and blame everybody else for where we're at in our life. But the truth is, we're responsible. We're here because of the decisions that we made or we didn't make. So sometimes we go along with things and we don't speak up and we're afraid and we walk on eggshells. Well, that's just a decision that you're making, the same as if you are someone who is very vocal and does speak out. They're decisions you're making as well. It's not your fault that you are where you are, because I know that you would have been doing the best that you could. You get stuck in situations, you don't know how to get out. But now that you know that there's more possibility for you, it's your responsibility to take action and to move yourself out of where you're stuck, if that's what you want. If you want to stay stuck for the rest of your life, that's your choice as well. You can be a victim. You can, keep just ruminating, going around and around, doing the same things, talking about the same things, going out, doing, the same activities. But if they're not getting you results, then you need to think, why am I sabotaging my success? Why do I keep doing this? And it's just a process of asking yourself these questions and then deciding, do I love myself enough? Do I love myself enough that I'm not going to do this anymore? Do I have a bigger goal for myself? Do I have a bigger goal for my life? Do I want to be a good role model? Like, what is it that I actually want? So we want to get out really clear with our goals. We want to be clear and set goals. And you can't just set them in your head. You've got to write them down. They've got to be detailed. They've got to be specific. They've got to be measurable. They've got to be achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. So it's called a SMART process. We always want to use SMART goals, and that's going to help us to get our end result. We want to have an action plan, because like I said, without action, nothing happens, nothing changes. And so, we all know those people that talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. We want to be the walkers, ladies. And you've got to stay focused. So many people get taken off track. Something comes up and they don't get back to finishing what they started, or they make excuses, or they run out of time, or whatever. Bottom line is we need to have accountability, and we need to put in place a process or people that will help us to be accountable, help us to get the success that we want. If you want to lose weight, you're better off going and getting a trainer, because your trainer's going to kick your butt. He's going to make sure that you get the results that you want. If you want to get over your divorce, you want to get a divorce recovery coach, because they will hold your hand. They'll teach you the new skills that you need. They will kick your butt and make sure that you're doing your homework. And when you have that level of accountability in your life, you're going to actually step up, and you're going to want to, make sure that you're investing money and time and effort. So you want to get those results. So the whole thing moves you in the direction that you need to be going. The third thing is, staying focused, prioritizing your tasks, managing your time effectively, and stay committed to your plan. Everyone's got the same amount of time in the day, so time is not the problem. Everyone has the ability to stay focused and do things, but they don't often always have equal desire. So we've got to make our reason why we're doing something big enough to keep us interested, and then have the structure around us that helps us to reach our goals. So, ladies, the truth is that I know after doing this work for all these years is that, it just takes one step for you to change your life. One call can change the trajectory of your life. I can't tell you how many ladies I work with who tell me they are so grateful. They're so grateful that they came into our world, because their life is so different now. I just got another text this morning. I literally get texts every day, but I got a text this morning from Mary, one of our clients. She's in America. She's got 2 special needs children, and she said that she never thought that she was ever going to be able to afford our program, and she really had to scrimp and save. And I really saw her doing it tough, because she's got 2 special needs children, and she's a single mum on her own, and her kids were fairly young. And I saw her showing up every week, and Mary did her program. She contributed. She made sure that she did everything that she needed to. She asked for help when she needed it. And we held her hand through that process. And I just saw her getting stronger and believing in herself. She got a higher paying job. She's been able to get a better house. And she's been able to take her kids on all these adventures, she was telling me today, that she never thought that she was ever going to be able to do as a single mum. And she's happy, and she's fulfilled, and she's being an amazing role model. So, what more can a mother do? We might not choose to end up divorced or to be, on our own. But wherever you're at, ladies, it's temporary. You don't have to stay there. This is just where you are right here, right now. But where you are right here is a platform for you to be able to decide that you're not going to stay here. And to get out of the situation that you're in, you need to go over, under, around, or through. You can't just stay still, because the world changes around us. So the best way for you to be able to move forward is to grow your emotional intelligence. And then with that emotional intelligence that you've gained, you heal your heart, you complete your past, you put your ex away, you put the past away, you bundle it all up, and it has no power over you. So you understand what role you played in that as well, and you forgive yourself, and you acknowledge the other people were just all playing in a role as well, that they didn't have the skills and tools to navigate any better than what you did. So both of you together got stuck. So once you're free, you shake yourself out, and then you start creating that beautiful new life that you want. And that's your transitional journey. So you have the power to create a new life, and I want you to have a life that's filled with joy, happiness, purpose, and for you to actually live life on your own terms. That means you're going to jump out of bed every morning, you're going to feel amazing about yourself, you're going to be happy, you're going to be loving everything around you, and that makes you, really shine from the inside out. So, if the work we do, if anything I've said resonates with you and you want to have a chat to us, please just book a call, send me a message, whatever works for you, and we can just find out where you are and if we are going to be a good fit to work together. And if we are, we're more than happy to work with you. But regardless, I want you living a good life. So, first start to think about where you are, what you want, and why you're not there. And all thought, this is where change is first created. Change first happens in your head. So you've got to start thinking about what is possible. What am I missing out on? What do I really want that I've been settling for not having? And then get disturbed. And once you're disturbed, that's what drives you to take action. And when you're taking action in the right direction with the right system and strategy, you're going to get amazing results. So anyway, that's just about me done for this session. So I hope that you have been able to add to your life. And if I can help you in any way, just reach out. I'm Fiona May from Women on Transition, and catch you next time.